Sun Fury, Spellfire Sphere's bonus reduced to 1 was 2. Okay, I can live with that. Sun Fury, Lingering Ember spell damage bonus reduced to 1 was 2. Okay, I can live with that. Sun Fury, Glorious Incandescence Arcane Barrage damage bonus was reduced. Oof. Okay, I can live with it. Sun Fury, Mana Cascade now grants 0.5% of haste instead of a full percent. Okay, I can live with that. Spellslinger Orbs generation cap per orb reduced to 4. Oh, okay. Okay. Arcane Blast damage. What? No. No. Oh my gosh. I just read Discord too. I just read Discord and my tank for Mythic Plus says this. Yo, I'm free for keys tonight. I have all 13, so I'm ready to blast 14s. With the arcane buffs, you're gonna be blasting. Who's gonna tell him, man? He just sent that over like an hour ago. Oh gosh. I'm gonna link him the changes. Nope. That's crazy. Buffed by negative 10%. So, oh my gosh. That's okay. Frosty Case also got nerfed. Stacking damage reduced. Exterminate damage reduced. Deathbringer, Obliterate, Breath. Yeah, so Frosty Case got nerfed, chat. And Arcane got buffed. Or sorry, Arcane got nerfed too. Real talk, 10% across the board feels harsh. I'm being a little dramatic. Like maybe, we don't know the numbers yet. Maybe after, like maybe with these nerfs online, mages will still be really good. Like we don't know. But I guess my point is, look, they were nerfed before we even logged in. Oh wait, we're also planning to tune other specs to be implemented with weekly maintenance. Oh, this is today. Okay, so yeah, this is today. This is today. I was gonna say we get 1 week to play with it, but that's not the case. Yeah, so they're nerfed before we even get to play. I thought you guys were trolling me. Everyone in the chat like an hour ago was like, dude, May just got nerfed. I'm like, good one. We got big buffs coming in, buddy. But yeah, 42 minutes ago, you guys were not trolling me. You guys were not trolling me. So May just got buffed and then they got nerfed. So the question is, where do they stand now? They might be similar or potentially lower. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Actually, I've got a little bit of lunch here. Got a little bit of lunch here. A little rice, little grass-fed beef, avocado, tomatoes, onion, lettuce, salsa. Looks absolutely fire. The entire list of class changes. Let's play the mage ones real quick. So these are all the buffs that mages got in this video, and I'll play them while I'm eating. And then they obviously just got nerfed after these. So, but these are the buffs. Let's play it.
Up next, we have the class of mages, where we're seeing another adjustment towards the rate buff of Arcane Brilliance, also reducing mana cost down to 1% of their base mana. We also got some adjustments such as a visual update for Altar Time, as well as a brand new icon for Shifting Power. And mages that spec into Ice Flows can now open up portals while having Ice Flows buff active, whether you want to put up a portal for your friends or just teleport yourself to places directly. The first set of changes we see for mages is in their hero spec, starting with the Frostfire, where we see a change to excess fire. Instead of providing frost and fire mages a way to apply a living bomb to a target, it instead changes to a Frostfire burst, which deals moderate Frostfire damage but helps contribute towards the Frostfire mastery. The damage of Frostfire Burst is increased by 25%, and the damage of Frostfire Infusion has been further increased by 50%. And the meteors and comet storms spawned by Asothermic Core is also being increased. Frost mages, that's a 50% buff for their meteor, and for fire mages, that's a 25% buff towards the comet storms. Frost and Arcane mages are getting a new talent towards the Spellslinger hero spec, specifically one that competes with Shifting Shards, called Signature Spell. For Arcane mages, whenever they have their Magi Spark explode, they get to conjure 6 Arcane Splinters. But for Frost mages, whenever they consume Winter's Chill effect with a Glacial Spike, they conjure 2 additional Frost Splinters, which allows you a different way to generate Frost Splinters outside of major big cooldowns such as Shifting Power. And the talent of Splintering Orbs can now generate up to a maximum of 6 Splinters, which was previously a maximum of 4. Finally, we have Sun Fury with a buff towards Gravity Lapse. The ability of Gravity Lapse now hits 8 targets instead of 5, and it also stuns those targets in PvE content, but it still is a route within PvP. Gravity Lapse does get a slightly longer cooldown of 40 seconds rather than 30 seconds. And the meteorites summoned through Glorious Incandescence are now instant, so they no longer have that weird delay where they can sometimes miss your target. Out of all 3 specs of mages, Arcane is probably seeing the biggest swath of adjustments, specifically within your talent of Aether Vision. Nether Precision will no longer allow you to double dip between Arcane Blast and Arcane Barrage. However, they're basically making that Nether Precision double dipping into a separate mechanic called Aether Vision. Consuming Nether Precision with Arcane Blast will increase the damage of your next Arcane Barrage by 10%.
So Aether Vision is replacing where Bauble was. Where is Bauble now? Do you guys see it? Am I blind? Oh, is it this? Above team, it's this one? Okay. So they put Aether Vision where Bauble was. They put Bauble here. The Charged Orb talent is still there. I think there was another talent that might be different. I think it might be this one. I guess when we log in like an hour or two here, we can play around with it. But I'm trying to think like in my head how the talent trees are actually going to change. Because I think Bauble is way too good not to get now. It's like insane.
And will cause the barrage to generate 2 arcane charges. This effect can stack up to 2 times, called Aether Vision, which still allows you to use Arcane Blast into barrages to maintain your full stacks of arcane charges to continue pumping out maximum damage while buffing the output of your Arcane Barrage ability. Then we got a handful of other talents adjusted, such as Time Loop, which has been updated to also increase the duration of Arcane Delimitation by 2 seconds, and its chance to proc is increased to 25%. Blade Drinker talent has also been updated. It no longer affects Arcane Barrage, but mostly plays around Arcane Blast, and causes your Touch the Magic to also grant Blade Drinker guaranteed.
Okay, I wonder if this is going to be good at M+. Every time you consume Nether Precision, which is like all the time, you have a chance to make your next Arcane Blast echo, repeating its damage at 60% to the primary and up to 4 nearby targets. So 5 targets, Arcane Blast echo. But it's only 25% of the time. Like, I guess it depends what you have to actually give up to get here, because you have to spend at least 3 talent points. You're either going to have to give up High Voltage, which is like a no-go, an Infinity talent, which is probably a no-go, Magi Spark, which is definitely a no-go, or Charged Orb. Ooh, I would actually love to drop Charged Orb. Charged Orb is annoying to deal with. I wonder if Blade Drinker could replace Charged Orb. Anyway, watch Preheat's video. Does he already talk about like what he thinks is going to be the best spec? It might be impossible to get here though, because you need 1 talent point to get Prodigious Savant. Actually 2. You need 2 talents to get Prodigious Savant, and then you need another talent. I don't know what this is, and then another. So I don't think you can actually get there. Like it's going to be 4. Like I don't know. Seems like a good talent. I just don't know how to get there. Like what are you going to give up, right? It'll be Spellslinger. Okay, so the reason I don't think Spellslinger will be good in Mythic Plus for Arcane. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I think Spellslinger will be good for Arcane. I think people will still prefer Sun Fury in Mythic Plus because it gets an AoE stun. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm wrong. That's fine. But I think the AoE stun from Sun Fury is just too good for Arcane to then just want to go Spellslinger. Like an AoE stun is ridiculous in Mythic Plus, right? Like it's so good. So you just press it on cooldown, man. Like, oh, it's so nice. Just take AoE Poly.
And Blade Drinker's chance to proc is increased to 25%. The talent of Charged Orb has been updated to also buff the damage of Arcane Orb damage, which basically allows it to take the Resonant Orbs talent, which was removed, and bake straight into Charged Orbs. The talent of Consortium's Bauble has been updated to increase the Arcane Blast damage by 8% while reducing its mana cost by 5%. Next, Arcane Mage has got a few changes towards the Spellslinger playstyle to try to make it a little bit more appealing, such as the actual Arcane Splinter damage being increased by 26%. The talent of Spellfrost Teaching's proc effect has been reduced down to 2%, but it now actually properly buffs the damage of Arcane Orb by 10%, which apparently previously it just didn't. This combined with some of the talent changes in the Arcane Mage talent tree should make the Orb playstyle a little bit more potent. Splinterstorm now has a 5% chance to generate a stack of clear casting, and the Unnerving Proficiency bonus has been increased to 20% rather than 16%. Arcane Sun Fury has also seen a number of changes, where Glorious Incandescence now causes Arcane Barrages to deal 30% increased damage in addition to its previous effect, though the talent of Burden of Power can no longer benefit from Arcane Barrages, only stuck strictly to Arcane Blasts. Also, Memory of Alar has been adjusted for Arcane, where the soul extension amount is now increased to 1 second instead of half a second, which gives you a longer Memory of Alar Arcane Soul window.
Someone in the chat said, why are mages getting another rework? Bro, you're telling me, man, it is insane as a mage to completely learn your class and then a patch just makes you completely have to relearn everything about your rotation, and then you figure it out, and in the next patch you have to completely relearn your rotation again. And I feel like this has happened like 6 patches in a row, where it's just like every patch they're just like, oh, actually let's make it like this, oh, actually let's make it like this, and it's just like.
Then we move on to the Spec of Fire, where Majesty of the Phoenix has been updated, where casting Phoenix Flames causes your next Flame Strike to be increased by 20%, and its critical strike damage increased by 20%, stacking up to 3 times. Fire Mages though do take an overall 3% ability damage reduction, which isn't crazy, but it does lower down some of the overall power, though they are breaking it back through some of the other components, such as Lit Fuse trying to make a comeback this time around. Lit Fuse now has a 6% chance to proc, which was initially a 4% chance. With Explosive Ingenuity, Lit Fuse chance to proc is increased by an additional 4%, while its damage is being increased by 50% instead of 25%. Though with the baseline damage buffs towards the Living Bomb ability, Explosiva's Living Bomb damage while Combust is active is reduced to 30%, which was originally 40%. But the Talent of Sparking Cinders now procs 3 times per minute instead of 2 times, and the damage bonus is now a little bit more normalized between Pyroblast and Flame Strike, both increased by 15%. As a Fire Mage playing the Sun Fury playstyle, Glorious.
I wonder if it's still like the Flame Strike style is going to be the preference, or if it's going to be more of that Ignite style. I don't know if I'm alone here, but I hate playing Flame Strike style Fire Mage. I really hate it. Arcane nerfed, yeah. Ignite is dead, yeah. It's just like, so when I played Fire in BFA, Mythic Plus Keys, it was all about getting a big combustion, and you weren't. From memory, you wouldn't use Flame Strike like all that much. I personally find it way more fun to play a Fire Mage when you don't spam Flame Strike. I think spamming Flame Strike is the most resonant sleeper playstyle of all time. It would be like a mage just like spamming Blizzard, like, which I guess mages do, but you know, mages still have like Comet, Frost still has like Comet Storm and Ice Lance splitting and Glacial and stuff and Orb and Blizzard. But like you just do so many Flame Strikes. I don't know, man. I don't like it. You would have hated DF Season 4 then? Yeah, I actually watched some people play DF Season 4 and you just spammed Flame Strikes, and I thought. Exactly what you would think. I thought it was terrible. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I think spamming Flame Strike is not a fun game design. I would much rather spam Pyroblasts or Ice Lances or Arcane Barrages or Missiles or whatever. But like spamming an AoE ability, it just doesn't do it for me personally.